Hay 1000 versiones diferentes de Godzilla, la más reciente fue la del 2014 de Gareth Edwards. Hablé con su director de fotografía sobre cómo fue que se compusieron los distintos planos, sobre cuánto se usó la matemática para calcular dónde se veía el monstruo y dónde no estaba, y una anécdota un poco triste con algunos cangrejitos que no la pasaron tan bien en el rodaje.
We now return to Mira Akien and Contré with our latest interview.
You're right. I mean, what an incredible tradition to be a part of.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really, really honored to be part of that.
In 1954, we awakened something.
Gareth is such a lovely fellow, the director, Gareth Edwards. He was very keen to not show the monster, to not show the Godzilla, that he wanted to keep it as like a human story, but with the threat of this, or the fear of this, like a naturalistic approach to things, that the idea that the potential for Godzilla would just keep the audience on the end of their seats. And I think that is the truth. So he wanted a very, very ad hoc, unadorned visual style to the movie, with a few exceptions, set pieces, like the halo jump where they all jump out of the plane. Shots that I think are my favorite shots were almost entirely CG, so I can't even claim that as my photography. And in fact, Gareth worked those out with the previous people long before I came on board. I think they were part of some sort of proposal for the film, you know, like some sort of teaser. So I can't claim those, but I often do.
Well, let's keep this a secret.
The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control. And not the other way around.
The thing that's difficult to imagine is when you're shooting something that isn't there, is how your composition is kind of compromised. And we have this device called NCAM initially, which allowed us to feed the previs into the eyepiece, so that you were aware of, if you were on a 27mm lens, I could see where Godzilla would be if he stood up, if he roused up. So I could leave the space in
the frame
for him. And it didn't feel weird. It didn't feel like a misconception or wrong composition. So that was hugely valuable. And again, you changed to a 50mm, so you could go, or a 75, so you could actually tilt up to the sky and get the right composition there. That was a great boon to have. So there were those things that were coming in with technology to allow you to kind of make those decisions and keep the compositional integrity of the film. We knew that it was like 264 feet or whatever, so it's very easy to make those triangular calculations and trigonometric based on the lens. And that's a very, very easy calculation to make. So yeah, we sort of knew where we were with that. And
yeah.
You could just make a profile image. You say, right, well, that's the size of Godzilla on a 27. If we go on a 50mm, you know, I'm going to have to tilt up 10 degrees to catch his head. That sort of thing was fun to actually work out.
Yeah, so it's not accidental.
No. Moments, like we were on the beach when that shot, there's a shot on the beach where Godzilla's out in the sea, and Gareth wanted these crabs in the foreground, and we had set up the shot where the sun was descending in Hawaii on the horizon, and then he wanted these crabs in the foreground. We had it perfect, and the sun was setting and the crabs were there, and just as the sun was setting, this hand came in and grabbed a crab. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And it was the crab wrangler who said, it's the crab's break now. They've been on the clock for half an hour and it's their break. I was like, you've just ruined the shot. We're going to have to come back tomorrow. And the curious thing was that we bought the crabs in a restaurant up the road. Anyway, but they had to. That's the mad thing about animal rights on film.